The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 1. Hercules was cursed with madness by the goddess Hera because he reminded her of Zeus's disloyalty and adultery. He woke from the madness only to be met by the slain bodies of his family. The Oracle of Delphi advised to seek redemption by consulting his cousin, King Eurystheus of the Terns, who was admired by Hera. The king tasked him with 10 labors in hopes to further deface the legendary hero. The first labor was to kill the Nemean lion, that killed men and kidnapped women. He managed to defeat the beast by strangling it and using its own claws to skin its hide. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 2. For the second labor, King Eurystheus tasked him with killing the Lernaean Hydra. The beast was known for its regenerating ability. For each head he would cut off, 2 more heads would grow in its place. The fight went on, and with each passing second his chances of winning grew slim. With the help of his nephew Lolaus, they devised a plan to cauterize the wound of each slain head with a torch. With the final 9th head, Hercules buried it on a path from Lerna to Elaeus and covered the site with a rock. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 5. For the 5th labor, Hercules was tasked with cleaning the stables where King Augeas kept his cattle. So Hercules went to the king and proposed that he clean the stables. The stables had not been maintained in ages. Despite this fact, Hercules claimed that he would clean it in a day, but in return he would get 1/10 of their livestock. To the amazement of the onlookers, Hercules made an opening on one of the stable walls and then proceeded to dig trenches. These trenches rerouted 2 rivers to flow to the stables until the stables were clean. When King Augeas discovered why he had proposed to clean the stables, he denied the hero payment. Hercules took the matter to a judge, who eventually ruled in his favor because he had fulfilled his part of the agreement between him and the king. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 4. For the 4th labor, he was ordered to capture the Arimathian boar, which was destroying a lot of farmlands. Hercules chased the boar while shouting and yelling. The boar got tired and hid in a bush, so he took hold of his spear and started attacking it until it fell on a patch of snow. He took the beast back to King Eurystheus. The king was so frightened that he hid in a bronze jar. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 4. For the 4th labor, he was ordered to capture the Arimathian boar, which was destroying a lot of farmlands. Hercules chased the boar while shouting and yelling. The boar got tired and hid in a bush, so he took hold of his spear and started attacking it until it fell on a patch of snow. He took the beast back to King Eurystheus. The king was so frightened that he hid in a bronze jar. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 5. For the 5th labor, Hercules was tasked with cleaning the stables where King Augeas kept his cattle. So Hercules went to the king and proposed that he clean the stables. The stables had not been maintained in ages. Despite this fact, Hercules claimed that he would clean it in a day, but in return he would get 1/10 of their livestock. To the amazement of the onlookers, Hercules made an opening on one of the stable walls and then proceeded to dig trenches. These trenches rerouted 2 rivers to flow to the stables until the stables were clean. When King Augeas discovered why he had proposed to clean the stables, he denied the hero payment. Hercules took the matter to a judge, who eventually ruled in his favor because he had fulfilled his part of the agreement between him and the king. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 6. For the 6th labor, he was tasked with killing the Stymphalian birds that nested in a toxic swamp. These monstrous birds had been known to eat man and were as big as a lion. Athena aided the hero by giving Hercules a pair of kurtala, which were noise-making clappers crafted by Hephaestus, the god of the forge. As he stood on a nearby the mountain, he used the kurtala to scare the birds out of the tree, then he shot them one by one with his bow and arrow as they took flight. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 7. In order to prove his claim to the throne, Minos promised Poseidon that he would sacrifice whatever the god demanded. So the god requested that he sacrifice a bull. When he was met with the bull, he dared not lay hand on it because of its beauty. Instead, he decided to sacrifice another bull. For breaking the promise God made his wife fall in love with the bull. She later on bared a child that had the head of a bull and the body of a man. The creature later on became known as the Minotaur. Hercules was charged with killing the bull. He easily wrestled the bull and brought it back to King Eurystheus. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 8. For the 8th labor Hercules was charged with retrieving man-eating horses of Diomedes. Hercules had to fight a band of soldiers and kill Diomedes himself in order to capture the horses. After bringing the horses back to King Eurystheus, he set the horses free. The horses eventually wandered until they were eaten by wild animals. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 9. For the 9th labor, King Eurystheus charged Hercules with getting the belt of Hippolyte. Hippolyte was the daughter of Ares and queen of the Amazons. The belt was gifted to the queen by her father after she had proven herself to be the best warrior of the Amazons. Hercules gathered a band of companions to help him retrieve the belt. Upon arriving to the land of the Amazon, Hercules was met by the queen, who wanted to know why they had sailed to her island. Meanwhile, Hera, disguised as an Amazon, persuaded the other warriors that Hercules had come to kidnap the queen. The warriors quickly made their way to the shore to save their queen from the invaders. When Hercules saw the warriors with their weapons drawn, he assumed that the queen had laid a trap for the hero. He struck her down with her sword and took the belt. Hercules and his companions managed to stand their ground and made the Amazons retreat. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 10. For the 10th labor, Eurystheus ordered Hercules to retrieve the cattle of the giant Geryon. Upon arriving to the island, Hercules was met with the three-headed dog Orthus and the herdsman Eurytion. He managed to defeat both these adversaries with just his club alone. The commotion of the battle alerted Geryon of the invader, Hercules. The battle between Hercules and the giant was met with a swift end when he struck Geryon with an arrow. On his way back, Hercules was met with two sons of Poseidon, who he managed to easily defeat. During this fight, one of the bulls escaped into the sea until it arrived at the shore of what is now Italy. Hercules tracked the bull all the way to the kingdom of Eryx, where it was claimed and part of his herd. In order to get the bull back, he had to fight the king in 3 wrestling matches. Hercules successfully came back with the whole herd, and the bull was sacrificed to the goddess Hera. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 11. Despite completing all 10 labor, Eurystheus demanded that he complete 2 more labors, because his nephew assisted with the Hydra and he got payment for the Augean stables. He demanded that Hercules retrieve the golden apples gifted to Zeus by Hera, the goddess who he sought atonement from. The golden apples would be found at the edge of the world, guarded by monsters and the daughters of Atlas. When Hercules got to the garden, he made a deal with Atlas where he would hold the sky and earth for Atlas while he retrieved the apples. Upon his arrival, Atlas denied to meet his end of the bargain, so he convinced the Titan to hold the sky and earth for a short time while he put some paddings on his shoulder. Hercules took this opportunity to take the apples and flee before Atlas got the wiser of him. Hercules successfully retrieved the apples, but they had to be returned since they were the property of the god. The 12 Labors of Hercules, Part 12. For the final labor, Eurystheus ordered Hercules to go to the underworld and kidnap the beast called Cerberus. Cerberus was a 3-headed dog that guarded the entrance of the underworld. He was met with monsters and ghosts alike on his journey to the underworld. Upon his arrival, Hercules had to ask Hades for Cerberus. The overlord agreed to give the hero his guard dog, only if he could defeat it with just his hands. Hercules agreed and went off to seek out the beast. He managed to bring the guard dude to submission by putting him in a chokehold and pinning him down. Hercules brought Cerberus to Eurystheus to finally bring an end to his labors. Cerberus was returned to the underworld to resume his position as the guardian of the underworld.